In this video, we're going to be replacing the wheel fender liner on this 2005 Honda Element. With a 19mm socket, we're going to take off our wheel. We're going to start by removing our push clips. We do have a couple missing. Hopefully your car has them all. We're going to just remove our push clips with either a pick tool or a panel tool. Across the back here, you'll have 4 Phillips screws. Again, we're going to start with our push clips. Now these push clips should come apart. They're just popping out as one piece. Typically what will happen with these is the center will push out. Okay, this is how they're supposed to come out. This one is a different clip, but all of these should come out like this. They should be able to pop the center out. We'll have one more here. Our vehicle doesn't have it. You'll also have one more up top here. Our vehicle doesn't have that. So the last one that we need to take out on the inside of the wheel well here is this one here. So now our fender liner on the inside of the wheel well is loose. We're still connected. If we follow it down to the front of the bottom where the bumper connects, we're still connected with a couple of pins across the bottom. But now we're going to move on to our Phillips screws in the back. So this top one here releases your mud flap. And go ahead and set that aside. Then you have one more right here. All right, now your fender liner should be free. You'll notice this little area here where the screw went. So your fender has a little lip on it. So we want to get under there with the panel tool and just push that aside. Now you'll see your fender liner is actually on that lip or on that shoulder there. Just get behind it, pop it out, slide it over. And you can go ahead and release your fender. If you really want to, you can put it back on there just in the meantime. But now your fender liner is free all the way down to the front bottom bumper area. So now if we follow our fender liner down to the front here, our vehicle has a couple of issues. This one here is missing or broken off in the back. But you should have a 10mm bolt here and a 10mm bolt here. This 10mm bolt will actually spin, but it's not attached to anything. So your vehicle will take these two 10mm bolts out. For us, we're just going to go ahead now, unclip it right here. This is your splash shield. We're going to unclip our splash shield from our fender liner. Just separate it, pull it away. And now you can move our splash shield slightly out of the way and work our liner out of this area here. You basically want to pull it out till it's outside of the bumper in the splash shield. Now there is, underneath here, there is a good amount on this fender liner inside the bumper. Let's just go ahead and work that out. And you can see this is where the 10mm was grabbing onto, but this whole area is broken. So now we'll work on removing it from the wheel well. What we're actually going to do is work it out of our bumper. Now we have a little leverage here to pull in. And do the same thing on the fender. We're going to pull down and inward so it comes out of the fender lip. And there you have your fender liner. So we're going to take our fender liner, we're going to center it up. So we know our center is here, our center is here. We're going to stick that kind of up into place and just kind of work the rest of it into place as well. We're only going to be able to get so far before we need to start putting clips in place to hold everything. So what we're going to do is sit the fender liner inside the fender as best we can. So we got it to a point where it's in place, just sitting here by itself. We have two free hands. If you can get here, great. I know it's sometimes a little difficult with these pieces. What we're going to do is take one hand on the fender liner, now one hand here on the fender. We're going to pull this lip back and slide our liner inside there. We're going to do the same thing up here and just work that back best we can. What we're looking for is to get one area where we can get one clip in to hold it for us. Okay, just continue to work. Take your time, might jump out like it just did here, but now we have one spot where the fender liner is actually held in place for us. That'll be a good anchor. So what we need to do before we tuck it into the bumper is work it on top of that splash shield. And then we can tuck it into the bumper. Okay. We can now continue to get this lip inside this fender lip. So we're going to use a panel tool here just to get it started up underneath. Okay, so we have most of them in. This one is not. To hold them in, we're going to put a couple of clips up front here. Now on the inside up here, this is where our larger panel clip went. Okay, so what we're going to do now is reinstall our Phillips screws. I'm going to start with this one up top. Sit your fender liner into the groove here on your rocker panel. Take our mud flap, sit it on top. And screw it back in. Now we can take our remaining clips and work up our fender liner. All right, so our fender liner to our splash shield. Just gonna push that up and put our clip in. And we'll come down to the bottom, plug in here or clip in our splash shield to fender liner. And we'll move underneath This is where we would be putting in our 10mm bolts. Again, ours are broken, so we'll just show you what you would want to do if you're in this position. So you want to take your fender liner here, put it up and in underneath your splash shield, and into the bumper. There we go. And at this point, you'd want to put in your two 10mm bolts into your fender liner. And you just want to double check back here if this little clip came out. Just want to go ahead and pop that back in. All right, so now we can install our wheel. All right, now we can do the other ones. Come in here with our 19mm. Just snug these up. All right, now to torque these down, we're going to have to put the vehicle on the ground so the wheel doesn't spin. Now that our vehicle's on the ground, we're going to torque our lug nuts down to 80 foot-pounds. We're going to do it in a crisscross pattern. And then sometimes, if you really feel the need to, you can run around a second time just to make sure. And that's it.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.